Our state is full of great cities and towns, yet so many people don't know much about them. Take Hartford, for example. It's a corporate, entertainment, and business center, but there's now a course at UConn so students can learn about the capital city and how the economy plays a big role in our state. And joining us now is Dr. Rory McGloin, a professor at the University of Connecticut, among other things. Rory, good to see you.
Thanks
for the program, Dr. McGloin. So I met you at the Hartford Business Journal's 40 Under 40.
Yep.
You were one of the nominees, one of the recipients. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Yeah, my background, I grew up in Enfield. We were just chatting, Fermi guy, so go Falcons. Both my folks are from Ireland, so all my family is predominantly back home in Ireland. I get a chance to go back and visit them. That's had a huge influence on my upbringing and my life. And I'm a UConn guy now. Been at UConn for the last 18 years. Went for my master's, stayed for a PhD, and I haven't left yet. So it's a great part of my life, and UConn's been an important part of that journey.
And you teach and work in business as well. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, telling the story about where my folks are from, coming from Ireland, little gift of the gab, we often say. And I think I kind of grew up in an environment where I always really admired people that were effective communicators, right? Whether they were in the media or they were in the pub. I think for me, it was always folks who could command attention. And so I wanted to go in and study that. And I wanted to understand how you could use communication to deliver messages effectively, whether it was in business or in life and relationships. And ultimately, that was my passion. And really my purpose has become this space of trying to help others communicate as effectively as they can. And I've had a chance to apply it for business. Organizations are always looking for great storytellers and the ability to convey their values in a way that matters. And so I've had an opportunity to do that for the last few years.
And one of your passions is improving Hartford and studying the business ecosystem, as you put it. Tell me a little bit about that, how that all works.
Yeah, absolutely. So born in Hartford, St. Francis Hospital. And I think that growing up in the greater Hartford area, I've always had an affinity for Hartford. It was always a fun place to go down. And growing up in the 90s was a place that you'd look forward to going to. And when we think about Hartford's evolution, right, there's so many great stories there, but in the last 20 or 30 years, maybe the stories weren't being told. And I've always felt like in order for Connecticut to come back and to really be the state that we believe it to be, we have to start telling stories about it. So we had an opportunity there at the Connecticut Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation where they got a chance, the support of Sherry and Michael Cantor, to offer a course called Build Hartford. And it gives us an opportunity to bring students from UConn into the city to first and foremost have that experience. And then for me to offer them an experience where they can think about business through story. So through the past, present, and future of Hartford's business ecosystem, we get an opportunity to let the students go explore, to learn, and then to find stories that they think are interesting and then go and tell them. Because ultimately I think, right, in order to know where we're going, we have to know where we've been. And the students are getting this opportunity to go and tell the stories and from their lens and from their perspective.
It really is amazing because there are some kids who grew up in the suburbs of Hartford who don't know much about the capital city. Are you finding that as well? And how do they learn about it?
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the great things that UConn's been able to do, over the last several years is they're attracting students from all over the world. And actually one of the things that's really interesting is our current class profile right now has students from all over the world and all over the country. And they're coming to Connecticut and they don't really know much about Hartford. And when we look at the history of Hartford, right, the role that it played in America's history, right, and the role that it's played in so many of our industrial revolutions, there's a lot of history there that doesn't get told, and I'm finding that even the students from the surrounding areas aren't studying it, they're not learning about it.
Yeah, people don't seem to understand that Hartford is a dominant influence across the whole state.
Yeah, absolutely, and one of the things that's great is that we're getting a chance to change the students' perceptions of our capital city. They're coming in, they're experiencing it. The course is offered in Constitution Plaza at our Connecticut Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation suite, and it provides them a space to come in and to learn, and then to go out and to walk the streets of Hartford, and to go down to Pratt Street, and to understand the business that's evolving there right before our eyes. That is something that I think the majority of our students haven't had the opportunity to do, and they're getting not only a chance to go out and do it, but they're being tasked with the opportunity to go and tell the story of those businesses, and now they're getting a direct connection. They're building relationships which will hopefully be valuable for them in their professional career.
It's a whole new generation. Do they see opportunities where perhaps we might not?
They do, and I think that's one of the best things about working with folks in this space is that things that we've seen for many years and we become maybe complacent to the opportunities and new ideas, students will go into an opportunity and they'll say, why are you not doing this, right? And everybody in the room's thinking, geez, we never just thought of that, right? Because we didn't see the world that way. We didn't have that perspective. We don't have that particular need or want. And they are actually changing the way that we're thinking, not just about business, but even about the way that we teach business and engage it.
And I want to talk a little bit about the Cantors. You mentioned them briefly. Michael Cantor, a businessman in downtown Hartford. His wife, Sherry Cantor, is, of course, on the UConn board, but she's also the mayor of West Hartford.
That's right.
How influential are they in this whole program?
They've been fantastic. I mean, just such great partners for us and great ambassadors for the city of Hartford. One of the things that stands out to me is when Michael and Sherry come down to be a part of the course and they'll share their feedback with the students. Michael advocates for the city of Hartford Hartford because he talks about himself as a business owner, right? He's saying, this is important to bring people down here. This is important for my business. It's important for your business that people come and we appreciate the city. And I thought that was just such a great, candid piece of feedback for the students to hear, to appreciate it through the lens of somebody who's been here and who has invested in the city. That's a really unique experience that most courses and college students are not getting that chance to have that type of interaction. They've been fantastic, and they are, you know, real believers in the course and the program, and so we're super grateful for their support.
You know, it's interesting, you talk about all the things that they're witnessing right in front of them, and there is sort of a resurgence in Hartford right now, all these new apartments that are creating new businesses. What is their take on that, and what is your take on it?
You know, I think the students are interesting because they have such a high level of expectations for what a city should offer. And in some regards, I've heard them talk about what's missing or what they need, and I've thought, I don't know, is that practical, is that realistic? But if you live through their eyes for a moment, you see what they want, right? And you see where the opportunity exists. So while we maybe look at the revitalization of the Hartford city, and we're really excited about it, it's really interesting because the young people are saying, I want more. And if you're a developer right now, or you're interested in starting a business, the young folks that are coming to our course are saying, we want more. There's opportunity there. That means that they have an appetite for it and they're interested in seeing it. So I would say that they're excited, but their expectations are saying, of course, and we're of course just excited to see it coming back to life.
I want to close out with allowing you to get a little bit of a plug in for one of your other big projects, women's Gaelic football. You've started it here in Connecticut. What exactly is that?
Well, it's almost the high holy season of the St. Patrick's Day holiday. And so, you know, down at the Irish Home in Glastonbury, we have men's and ladies Gaelic football. We also have hurling and camogie and youth sports. But, you know, last year there was an opportunity where we had a large group of women, and there was an opportunity to put together a women's Gaelic football team. It's been a really rewarding experience. It gives ladies an opportunity that are looking for something beyond just a club sport to be part of the community. And we took them all out. We were out in Denver. We made it to the national championship game. That was just a great experience. And so we're always recruiting. So we'd be happy to have anybody that's interested to come down and join us.
And they can find you at the Irish Home or on social media.
That's right.
All right.
Hartford GA, yeah, or you can find us at the Irish American Home in Glastonbury.
Sounds good. All right, Dr. Rory McGloin, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks, Dennis.
We'll see you soon. We invite you to connect with us. You can send me an email at thisweek@WTNH.com. Also find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.